Yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Two Toe Tags and Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our final review of the Ossuary Lens by Allegaeon. So we didn't do a first impressions last week because of some issues, but we're reviewing this album all week long and spinning it as much as we possibly can, taking notes, criticizing it, judging it, all that fun stuff, and we're here to let you guys know our thoughts. So, just, I guess, prefacing, Allegaeon is a high standard band on this channel.
Especially now after that last record.
Exactly. Damnum was on both our top fives. It was a two-toe tag album when it dropped, and it's just top tier album. Really, really super solid work from a great band. Even before that, Apoptosis we reviewed that on the channel. That got favorably high scores, like 2.7s or 7.5s or something like that. Like, it was pretty up there.
Generally favorable, but didn't quite meet the mark for toe tags.
Exactly. So this band is kind of always doing good things. So the bar is high. We reacted to a couple singles, if I'm not mistaken.
Both of the singles pre-album release we reacted to, which was The Swarm and Driftwood.
Right. And both those songs, like them when we reacted, like them now. Those are fantastic songs. This album has some just, I hate to use this word because it's overused a lot, but just bangers. Just fucking songs that just go so hard.
Yeah.
And they come on and it's just like, this is just the juiciest, most ear-pleasing metal that I can ask for. And Driftwood is one example, The Swarm is an example of that. And two other songs that we didn't react to because they didn't put the singles out. Imperial and Wake Circling Above are two songs.
Wake Circling Above was actually an album release single with a video.
But we didn't react to it.
Not at the time. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you on literally all four of those songs.
Yeah, so Driftwood and The Swarm are both kind of first half of the album, track 3 and track 5. But Imperial and Wake Circling Above are tracks 8 and 9, which I thought was a cool kind of strong point at the end of the album. Now, both those songs really strong back to back. The things that are strong about these songs are kind of common, because it's strong because the drums are just ferocious and pounding. Like, the double kick is just really in your face. It's really energetic. The guitar work is just very intricate, very fancy, very technical. And there's always something that's kind of piquing your ears up with the guitars. And those songs specifically were really just drawing me in, specifically for the guitars. I noticed something that, so there's two songs. Which one is it? Okay, so it's The Swarm and it's Imperial. Both these songs reminded me of Flight of the Bumblebee. I don't know if you ever got that, if you got that or not, but I also thought it was extra funny because the Swarm, Bumblebee Swarm.
Swarm of bees.
So I don't know if there's like a bit of influence there or a nod or something like that, but I was getting like a sense of like that Flight of the Bumblebee kind of like frantic rhythm going on with guitars, and I liked it. I thought it was cool. There's little intricacy things they do, like in the beginning of Imperial, they have that fancy guitar intro where it's kind of fancy, then it gets hard, then it goes fancy, gets hard. That's kind of cool. They're kind of just playing with the dynamics of the song and really kind of giving it personality and making it grow and stuff like that. So yeah, all really strong stuff there. Some of the other songs, Chaos Theory, DSRA, Dark Matter Dynamics, which is a song I want to talk a little bit more about in a minute. These songs are all pretty good, but they kind of all left me kind of just wanting more or not quite sure what I was getting. It felt like there was a lot going on, and some of them were a little bit almost hard to digest in a way. They have good flow, they have good, transitions and things like that, but it felt like there was just certain points where the go-to is just, let's turn on the double bass and then do some weird riffing. And it's like, I get it, that's kind of the thing that's going on here, but it felt like it was happening too much, and there's certain songs it felt like it wasn't working. And those songs are examples of that. Carried by Delusion and Scythe, we're talking track number 6, and the last track, number 10. These songs I had some trouble with. I think certain elements of them are cool, like the intro of Carried by Delusion I think is good. Other than that, the song doesn't offer me much. I like the build-up at the beginning of Scythe. It has a nice build-up, kind of has a bit of a Tool vibe to it. Then the song kind of kicks in, but it just doesn't really go anywhere for me. It felt awkward as an outro track. And then I guess just one more comment before I pass the floor to you is the intro track, Refraction, which is a 58-second interlude. I thought that was a pretty well done interlude. I like the length. I like it's just short of a minute. It gave me Battery vibes by Metallica.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's cool.
Oh man, immediately when I listened to it, I was like, holy crap, this sounds like Battery. Like, it's not exact by any means, but I feel like there's like a parallel there in the styling of it. And I thought that was kind of cool. And it's one of those interludes that, I didn't have to skip. I wasn't bored of it. It serves a purpose. It introduces the album well. I think it's a very good intro track, interlude style track, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts. What do you think?
I thought Refraction is a fantastic intro track. Gets the job done, really hypes the album up. You get real excited, and then bam, it goes right into Chaos Theory, and it's super cool. Unfortunately, Chaos Theory consistently felt like a come and go song for me. There just wasn't much in it that really stood out outside of the fact that Refraction goes into it and it's super cool that way.
Yeah.
But other than that, the song kind of just would miss me. But after that is Driftwood, which is an incredible song. It's the kind of song that has a hook that really grabs you. I think it's a very, very wise choice for a single.
Yeah. I also love that it's not so catchy that it's cringy. Like, it's catchy, but it's not so catchy that it's like,
It's one that is fun to sing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a really good example as well of basically what the album is about. You put on that track and it kind of, if someone were to say with one track, give me an idea as to what to expect, I think that would be a good example.
I agree.
And so that one, I love. The Swarm is probably my favorite track on the album.
Yeah.
Every time it comes on, like, oh, here we go. This is super duper crazy. I did a little bit of labbing on what's happening in the intro there, which is pretty interesting. It's just for the intro section. You got 11 bars of 4, and then that final bar is a bar of 9/8. And if you count it lines up when they hit that shot on 1. What's also cool is they do some anticipations as well in that whole thing, which makes it sound even more ambiguous. But after counting it, it lined up that way. I thought that was pretty cool.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So, math. But crazy song. It's brutal. The whistle is in the track. I remember when we were watching the music video, which was hilarious with the crazy bar fight, and the guy just bashes the bottles on his head, and the whistle's actually in the in the album. And then they just jam out on that riff to the end and fade out as well. Like, it's got so much about it that I'd say is notable, like super duper standout track. You already talked a lot about Imperial, how cool that is. I agree completely. That noodly guitar bit that keeps coming back is super duper cool. The verse riff as well. Just every time I hear it, that's so nice. Oh my God. And I remember, we weren't able to record a first impressions for it, but when I first listened to this album last week, that was happening a lot. Like, in my first impression, most of the songs were just, oh yeah, this is the shit.
Yeah.
Like, consistently over and over and over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say all of the songs stayed that way for me, but a good chunk of them did. Dark Matter Dynamics, I thought is great. It has a feature on it, which I assume is the courtesy. It's Adrian Bellew, who is a guitar player. I figure they are doing the acoustic guitar on this track.
It's like percussive guitar. It's not quite percussive. He's not like banging on the body like they do, but it's that style.
And it's funny.
How did you feel about that, though? That's what I wanted to talk about with this song.
I thought it was great, and it actually reminded me a lot of a song called The Falcon by OK Goodnight from their last record. Just the way that riff goes and the way that it kind of melodically carries you from the intensity that was there. I think it's a fantastic, almost break song. And I feel like it could have been after The Swarm, but it's fine where it is on the record.
Yeah. I feel like that song, it really sets that song apart. It gives it really its own feel and identity, having that feature on it with that different style of guitar going on. But that percussive style of guitaring is something I've never been drawn to. And I listen to it and I'm like, I used to watch this guy, he used to have put on his videos, I think his name was Marcin, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's like a younger guy, but he does really good percussive guitaring. He's like tapping in all over the place. And I used to watch his videos and be really impressed by it, but it gets old fast. And then it's kind of like one of those things, like once you see it done that well, it's hard to really appreciate it ever again. At least for me, I don't know. So hearing it on here, I was like, yeah, it sounds different, but it's really not doing anything for me. And I felt kind of weird about that.
I mean, it obviously comes down to if you've heard something too much, it's not going to be special anymore. And we've said that with, plenty of genres, plenty of albums, plenty of bands where it's like,
Perhaps.
yeah, this is sick, but like, I've heard this done already,
Yeah, it's like, how many times can you hear a good blast beat and still be like, fuck yeah.
Exactly. You either have to be in the mood for it or there's got to be something magical.
Something special about it, yeah.
So Wake Circling Above is another track I really, really liked. And I think the solo section is fantastic. Sounds like they're trading, which is cool. And it feels so proper as a closer that I'm confused as to why Scythe is afterwards. I feel like they should have been swapped.
I totally agree with that. I mean, the fact that it's more pulled back and it has that kind of like, almost like Bork Nagar with the Vortex style vocals going in contrast with the rest of the album.
And the key change as well at the end, like it's this big melodic thing.
Yeah, it would have been a great closer, and I agree with that completely. And Scythe, they could have just swapped places those two songs, it would have been fine.
It's funny you mentioned Flight of the Bumblebee. The Dies Irae is literally on this album. Like, for reference, Dies Irae is a very, very old melody that you probably heard a lot in movies. That the melody you hear at the start of the song is what that is known for. Obviously, this is played way faster than it normally is. But they even do it like in an orchestral kind of style. Yeah, so I just thought it was funny. Like, okay, yeah, let's do a Dies Irae thing. What should we call the song? Just name it that. Why not? Yeah. Like, just pull right from it. Another thing interesting about this album that I noticed is this is actually the first album in a while, in about 10 years, with their original singer.
Yeah, I heard their original singer came back. I didn't know that until well on into the week. But yeah, cool. I mean, I didn't go back and listen to Damn Them to compare vocals or anything like that because I didn't care enough to do that. But yeah, it's fine. He's got a nice ranged voice, different styles of vocals and stuff. And I wondered if he was the one singing in Wake Circling Above, because like I said, the vocals in that song are a little bit more clean and a little bit different style. And I don't know if that's him just doing a different thing or if they got a different band member doing vocals as well. Who knows?
So the only kind of hang up I really have on this album is just that it's really easy to fatigue yourself on a record like this because there's so much going on constantly. It's packed full of stuff. So you listen to it a bunch of times over and over and over. And then you get to a point where you're like, man, can I hit pause? Can we slow down for a moment? So even though I think the album is generally paced well for what it brings to the table, I do think maybe it would be worth having another track or two to break up the pace. Maybe just another interlude, maybe an outro track.
Yeah.
Like Refraction is this quick intro. Maybe they could have a quick outro, call it Reflection.
They could have. I don't know. Who knows? Could have went like that, whatever.
Well, anyway, you want to rate this album?
Sure. So, love this band. This is a fantastic band. I recommend this band to people all the time. When people say, hey, what band should I check out? I'm like, have you heard of Legion? Like, have you heard this album? Like, check them out. They're always worth at least giving a spin to try. And I think most people, most metalheads, will find something here that they like.
Yes.
They're one of those bands. They're diverse. They have a really well-rounded sound. Lots of technical stuff, whatever. This album is... How many tracks? There's 10 tracks. 4 of them I would consider super strong tracks. Like 4 of them can go in the playlist, put them on anytime, really love them. Another 4 of them I think are pretty good tracks. And that's like, it is what it is. 2 tracks are kind of like I could do without them. It probably would have been better to leave them off. I think Carried by Delusion and Scythe could have been left off this album. It could have been an 8-track album as far as I'm concerned. It would have been fine. So with that said, with less the album being super stellar, it's unfortunately not going to hit toe tag territory for me. Even though it's a strong album and I do really like it from cover to cover, it's going to land at a 7 for me.
Still a strong score.
It is a strong score. It is a strong score. It's only a full point away from a toe tag, and it just didn't make it. There's just a couple things on here that just weren't really gelling with me, and for a toe tag album, it just needed 1 or 2 more strong points, and it would have made it. And that's just how the scores fell after listening to it all week, and that's just how it is. So,
fair enough. For myself, this is one of those albums where it's hard to think about expectations. Think about it. Damn Them was so good. Then they dropped the follow-up, and you think, man, how can this compare to that? It's like with Behemoth, they made the Satanist, and then everything afterwards is like, well, is it going to be as good as the Satanist?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not really a fair comparison.
It's not.
So that bar is high. This band is still great. And while I don't think this album overall feels as magical as Damnum. I think there's a lot of awesome moments, awesome tracks, awesome ideas, fun things and concepts in this record that it was enough for me to give it a toe tag.
Very nice. So unfortunately, I mean, they're on the list already. Unfortunately, they're not going to make it for it twice, a second time on the list. But these guys, their albums, like on this channel, I would say they're still 3 for 3. I mean, 3 reviews, 3 very favorable review scores, 3 toe tags total. And, you know, this band is just, they're just one of the top tier bands in the genre as far as I'm concerned. And everybody should check them out. Anyways, guys, that's it for this review. Leave your thoughts down below. Let us know what you guys think about this album after listening to it for a whole week. If you agree with us or disagree with us, tell us your favorite songs and all that fun stuff. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep those heads banging.